Hello and welcome back to the Inverted Castle, a Metroidvania enthusiast podcast. It's me, the OG, the best to ever do it, Eric Fox, and joining me as always is a man who I secretly suspect has been doing it better for at least a decade. It's Tom Blight.
I'm trying to map back what that is in this metaphor, but I don't know it.
Listen, we've known each other a while. Your NES era was kind of rough, but I think you've been really making a name for yourself, much like Super Metroid made a name for itself back in 1994. That's, of course, the game we're playing. It needs no introduction or really a discussion. So, hey, Tom, where are you putting it on your stack rank?
Yep, let's just jump right into that. I mean, obviously it goes at the top. Episode over. Bye.
Bye. No. Yeah, this is the game, probably even more than Symphony of the Night for the Metroid and Metroidvania. The things that came before it were like, you can make some excuses. You can kind of like look at maze type games and be like, okay, well, this is kind of a prototype, but this is the platonic ideal essentially. And I don't know how you feel, but I think it strangely holds up.
Strangely? I don't know about the strangely, but yeah, I think it holds up.
Like, I feel like it's better playing than the Metroids that came after it.
Yeah.
At least the GBA ones.
Sort of, yeah. Like, Zero Mission and Fusion are a little... Actually, I don't find Zero Mission that much smoother. Fusion felt smoother, but also less good at the map design and stuff.
Yeah. Having played a lot of more modern takes on the genre, all the indie spaces, it's like, oh yeah, no, going back to this one, and it's very much a known quantity at this point, but I was kind of expecting a bit more SNES jank than I got. I don't know, maybe it's the fact that it has a few more buttons than the GBA does, but I felt it was just better at playing. The floatiness was more adapted for the larger screen that you'd have other than the GBA tiny window.
Yeah, I've never really had issues with the floatiness that some people complain about. I guess the one thing is that I always forget how much your momentum dies if you just walk off of platforms.
Yeah? Momentum in what way? Like left to right or?
Left to right. Like if you just let Samus fall off of a platform instead of jumping off of it or like holding the run button.
You'd kind of just drop?
Yeah. Which like it is actually pretty hard to hold the run button in this game.
A little bit, yeah.
And do other things.
You can change the button layout to some extent, but by default, I think run and shoot are on the opposite face buttons.
Oh, I remapped just about every button. That's not true. I didn't. I reverted the remapping of the up-down aims because that got weird.
Oh, okay. The shoulder buttons are like hold R to aim up and L to aim down, right?
Yeah. At one point, I had mapped one of them to rotate between the icons.
Oh, no.
That got strange.
No, my friend, no. So, by default, we're just kind of jumping into this. You know Super Metroid, I think. If anything will allow us to kind of be scattershot in our approach, it's this one. By default, there is a strange decision to have select be your select missiles and your sub-weapons. Mm-hmm. I remapped that as well, but I just made it the top X button.
I did the same thing. I mean, it's also default X and A, which is weird.
For which, sorry?
At least on the Switch.
Oh.
Super Metroid is default X and A for shoot and jump.
Interesting. For me, I believe it was default B is shoot.
And Y is jump?
I think so, maybe. I listen, at this point, it's been a while since I actually remapped all of them, but I just made it so the bottom button jumped, and that tended to work out pretty well. It's just that I think had the knock-on effect of running and shooting being a bit more awkward.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why the Switch defaulted it to X and A, because that's real weird.
Yeah.
If that's not like a normal thing. But there's also some random options that I never really explored before that I did this time. I briefly turned on Moonwalk.
I kept Moonwalk on. Did you turn it off eventually?
I cannot stand Moonwalk. I had no idea I charge and try to turn around so much.
Ah.
But apparently I do. And having it slowly moonwalk you backward instead of actually turning around and run.
You want to hit the thing behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Moonwalk is when you're charging your shot or aiming up or down, instead of turning around, you can just kind of halt in place and just keep firing in the same direction. I kept it on because I wasn't using charge shots probably as much as I should, but I found it, I don't know, fine. Like, I wasn't playing this game in a technical way that really required me to like think hard beyond just be in the right position and just dump all my missiles.
Yeah. I mean, that's also kind of the interesting thing of like a perspective that I've never taken the time to have on a game like Super Metroid, and that I'm sure there are other people who do have this very technical perspective of like just having sat down and mastered it, doing a low percent run, right?
Low percent, speed runs, reverse boss order.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play this game like I'm, getting everything on the way, so I'm appropriately kitted out in terms of defense from the suits or a number of missiles that I didn't have to be accurate. And also I made a conscious decision not to save state, which was good. It is a game that can be beaten in that way. It's not one of these crazy older games, right, where we're just like, well, obviously you got to save state because the saving's fucked. It makes you pay money to do it occasionally. Remember Xanadu?
Yeah, that's fair. Which, speaking of safe stating, I'm so bad at grappling. I don't know why I'm so bad at grappling. I did start using the rewind, specifically on grappling.
Instead of doing the walk of shame back to the perch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After my, fifth walk of shame, I was like, that's it. I'm just gonna rewind every time I miss a grapple.
There's one that I remember having trouble with in Meridia, the water area. It was just like a long sequence where you're trying to you can grapple enemies and they're not always in the same position.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is the room that we're talking about with if you drop, you have to actually go all the way around the circle again to attempt it again.
Yeah, and it was hard to get consistent. I believe I ended up just infinite bomb jumping at some point.
Uh-oh.
A useful skill to have, although it didn't actually cut out a lot of time. I didn't have any major sequence breaks.
And I think that's one of the things about Super Metroid's legacy is that it does actually have a lot of stuff that rewards your interest in terms of if you figure out that this wall jump, which is kind of hard to do at first, but if you keep at it, you can do it basically anywhere and you can actually get to places that didn't seem like you could get there without the tools, right?
Yeah. The one time it actually did save me some backtracking is very early on where you're going through Brinstar, just about to head down to Norfair where you're supposed to get the high jump boots. Then you go all the way back, go and fight Kraid in order to get the fairy suit, which allows you to go back to Norfair and go through the heat zone. I just skipped the first Norfair trip. You can either do infinite bomb jump or run at the ledge that's supposed to be too high and just wall jump up it.
Yeah.
It's a little crackerjack, but it's the thing I remember basically doing every time I play this game now is just okay, well, I can save 5-10 minutes getting high jump early, but it also just small little section. You never have to go back to it either. So it's just okay, take care of all of that. No backtracking. We're good.
It's interesting. I'm curious how much they knew that it was possible versus oh, hey, it's a cute coincidence that it turns out that this game is so breakable, right? Obviously there's the skills that only the animals will teach you. It's not in the book or anything, right?
Right. The wall jump and this shine spark are, I think, the only ones that are explicitly intentional. Infinite bomb jumping seems like it wouldn't be, but it was it's a bug they kept implementing in every subsequent game and made it, I think, slightly easier in some. I think it's going back to this version compared to the GBA versions. The timing's different, and it took me a minute to just kind of reacclimate to it. And I definitely did it the slow way. I've seen speedrunners just climb. Mine was very slight increments on every bomb, just a bit higher.
Not pushing it to the limit.
Not pushing it to the Super Metroid limit, which I believe is the name of a ROM hack. But I digress. This game is mechanics first. I think it's in terms of its level design, that's what's notable about it. Although it does have also some legacy in terms of its story, which is another thing it does is that it front loads all of it and then gets the fuck out of the way until the end.
Yeah.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace. And then it just kind of summarizes the first two games at the very beginning. First time Samus encountered them, Metroid 1 blew up the planet, or killed Mother Brain, didn't blow up Zebes because you're back to it again in Metroid 3 here. And then it summarizes Samus's genocide of the Metroids on SR3D8, which the game just can't stop referencing again. It was kind of a big deal, the genocide
Yeah.
that our hero did.
That thing that we decided to do. In her defense, she thought they were a bad thing.
Yeah. It wasn't until later that they retconned the X parasite. That's not a thing yet. And also, she saved the baby.
Yes.
Honestly, like it's such a cool moment in this game, and then it gets ruined. But we'll hopefully, God willing, never experience that, because Mother M doesn't need to be canon unless you're a big Adam Malkovich head. But yeah, the idea here is that she gave the baby Metroid to some scientists to study Metroids, but then Ridley attacks. Oh no, he stole the baby. And you follow him down to Zebes, the site of the first game, but now it's expanded. There's a really cool intro not so much an intro sequence, but like when you get down to Crateria, the first bit of the game is you going backwards through the escape sequence of Metroid 1 with the ruins of the Mother Brain fight.
Yeah.
Until going down to Brinstar, and it's just the level layout of the beginning of Metroid 1 with Morph Ball in the same position, like a couple of rooms laid out in the exact same style, except obviously up-resed in Super Nintendo.
I always forget that there's cameras at the beginning, and then they just kind of disappear. I don't know. That's just to make you feel watched.
Yeah, I think environmental storytelling, something has noticed your presence, and after that, when you're going back out from Brinstar back to Crateria with the with Morph Ball, that's when the pirates show up.
Yeah.
And so you have to fight your way back through that zone in order to make progress. But I think that's the idea. I think the manga makes it explicit that it's Mother Brain's cameras. She's back. Spoiler alert. Spoilers for Super Metroid.
Yeah. Spoilers for this, 30-year-old game?
31 years old at time of recording, I believe.
Yeah, which has so much plot.
Yeah, but getting back to the plot summary, the game happens. You fight bosses in order to get to the center. You're chasing Ridley. Eventually you do kill Ridley, but the little tank that the baby Metroid was in is shattered, and so you're like, okay. There was a gold statue earlier with all the boss heads on it. It's open now, and it goes to the center. You fight Mother Brain, or on the way to Mother Brain, you get a reunion of sorts with the baby.
Yes, and by reunion, the baby kind of tries to eat you, and then it's like, oh wait, no, this is Mom.
It's so big. I don't know how it got so damn big, but it's bigger than any Metroid you've seen so far, and yet, I guess, still the baby. But yeah, it almost kills you, but then doesn't. Like, it leaves you on one energy point and then just kind of meanders away. It's not clear if it like gave up interest in you because you're so low on energy, or if it finally recognized you. This is answered in the actual Mother Brain boss fight. It's a scripted loss, essentially. Mother Brain's about to destroy you, where the baby comes back. It's this huge moment of the baby eating Mother Brain, and then it gives you all of that energy until Mother Brain kills the baby. Oh no. And you get revenge. Blow up Mother Brain. It triggers the self-destruct sequence. Gotta have that in a Metroid game. You leave, and ideally, that would be the end of the Metroids. But of course, we know that's false.
I mean, yeah, so like, I guess there is kind of an implication that theoretically every Metroid that you see is its spawn.
Yes?
I'm trying to remember if I ever learned properly how Metroids work. In some games, they can divide.
Yep.
They also have queens. I don't know. Their physiology is complicated.
Are these just Metroids the pirates had on ice? Has the baby reached sexual maturity this fast? How does one engage in Metroid husbandry? These are all questions that I hope will never actually get answered in any, like, Wikipedia-style entry.
I mean, I feel like Metroid Prime probably has it. It has that kind of thing in there. Or I remember a lot of scanner information about the containment and feeding of Metroids.
That is true. Although a lot of that was also kind of tempered with all the space pirates are kind of just fucking up for no reason a lot.
That's fair.
They're kind of just like deeply incompetent.
Are you telling me that these pirates are not the most stringent scientists in the world?
They have pincers like crabs. How could they possibly be dexterous enough to manipulate all this machinery? Most of them can't even curl up into a ball, which is like 80% of Chozo technology.
It's fair.
They can't engage with the half pipe. You must be this sick in order to do bad science.
But yeah, the game's not interested in explaining that kind of thing, which is fine.
No. It's about action. It's about exploring. There weren't spots where I was just like really annoyed.
I mean, in my opinion, it has one bad boss.
Which one?
It's the plant one, the first one.
Oh, Spore Spawn? That's boring, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's also the first boss, so I kind of...
I don't know. Spore Spawn is neither interesting or quick or threatening.
I don't know. I don't think it takes long enough for me to really just be like mad about it, but you're right at that it's the worst boss. Certainly on repeat fights, I did play the combo Metroid Zelda randomizer, and yeah, it has its own problem, which I'll get into, but as a refight, there's just nothing interesting going on. And so, yeah, if you're going to play this game a lot, that's a big... I wish I could just put on some tea and have it take care of itself.
Fair.
Beyond that, the main bosses are Kraid, classic from before. He gets bigger this time. Ridley, who's the penultimate one, who's in every incarnation, including this one, is just a war of attrition. Just have enough firepower to kill him before he kills you. It's like he's always vulnerable, but he's always dangerous, flying around.
Since we played Fusion somewhat recently, I feel like this was more reasonable to dodge than Fusion. I don't know, like I feel like it does kind of end up just being kill him before he kills you, but I don't know, there are definitely degrees to amount I care to dodge, and I feel like this one was the right balance where I feel like with Zero Mission I was like, I don't even care, I'm just blasting, and Fusion is like, I'm not good enough at this game to dodge this, so I'm going to have to blast.
I feel like this game understands its physics a bit better for the boss movement. So, like, I think Ridley's a lot slower, just like you are.
I mean, maybe I just am worse at tighter boss arenas, which are necessitated by smaller screens, right?
I mean, me too. I do think this is just an easier fight. It understands how quickly you can like aim and what amount of damage you can put out a bit better. It's hard to say just because memory's a fickle thing. Just it seemed all right, but it's still, even if you get hit, it's not the end of the world. And I think he's just a lot easier to hit in general.
Yeah.
Shoulder aiming, being able to use the run button. But yeah, Ridley, piece of cake. Fantuna I actually had a bit of trouble with. He's the ghost that just kind of phases in and out of existence. I found that he was a bit like, see, this is a part where I think if I was not using Moonwalk and relying on charge shots more, I think the damage output there is better. At least that's what speedrunners do. They also use the special weapon combination X Factor, which I also didn't engage with.
I always forget about it.
I know, like there's that, there's the Crystal Flash. Essentially, you can spend like power bombs for secret weapon combinations, but you have to use like the right beams equipped. I can't remember exactly how to do it, but they usually use that, and it tends to just like instantly hit it as soon as he's vulnerable. So I could have looked it up, but I ended up just barely eking out a victory, so it's fine. And then Dragon has a quick kill, which is fun. Otherwise, he's like swarms at you from the sides, hit him in the belly. But if he grabs you, you can do something else. I'm not sure if you actually ended up doing that.
No, I don't actually. I actually found that one, like the one where it's like, I feel like I'm supposed to be better at this. But...
So on the sides of the arena, there's these little like unique caps on the walls that if you blast off, they have the like electricity on them.
Oh yeah.
If you fire a grapple beam at it while you're grabbed, you'll get electrocuted, but so will Dragon. And it, like, I think after 1, maybe 2, he'll just die.
I see. I did not know that. That would also require me to be able to aim with the grapple beam.
I mean, like when he grabs you, he starts like oscillating back and forth. So it's really just timing a lateral shot. You would have been fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
But no, it was a weird thing that this game, despite being what I think is like the example of the series, also has so many like weird bespoke interactions. Between that, there's the using a power bomb in the tube through Meridia, which you don't actually have to do, but you can access Meridia through that alternate means.
Wait, don't you have to eventually?
No, I think you can get to Meridia just through the back of the wrecked ship.
I mean, I did get to Meridia through the back of the wrecked ship, but don't you end up in that tube and have to break it? I don't know, maybe you don't.
I don't think so, because I think below it is only a save room, and above it is the rest of the level, but I did blow it up, so if it does block you at some point, mea culpa, I'm sorry.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but like Castlevania would do as well, where it has weird things like the room with just succubuses, the chair you can sit in for no reason, the weird enemies you have to do, like the newspaper quest to see. This game also has like the room with the turtle enemy you can't kill. things that just aren't in any other room, but just gotta add to it, in addition to the animals.
Yeah.
I can understand why it made such a splash in addition to its novel take to the run and gun action game. And I don't know. We haven't played Metroid 2, but from my memory, it's 2 did not do enough things to really let it shine as the genre namer. Super's the one.
I have actually never played Metroid 2, and I didn't play the remake either, which I probably should.
And we will eventually probably cover it. It's going to be complicated between the 3DS remake, which might be difficult to get our hands on. Probably not. It's probably fine. The Game Boy original, or the definitely not legal fan-made AM2R.
Yes. I mean, that one is named Another, so presumably that's not the only fan
Probably.
Metroid 2 remake that people have tried to make.
Right, but if we're going to do a fan one, that's the one that reached critical mass. We can't play all the ROM hacks, otherwise this episode would have been 5 hours.
That's fair. Speaking of ROM hacks.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about your pledge to play the
Sure.
Metroid Link to the Past combination ROM hack?
It was an interesting time. I would recommend it, although I'd also recommend at least playing Link to the Past a couple of times. See, playing through Super Metroid, even just basic memory, I still managed to get 90% of the items, so I was fine on that point. Think you were similar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Link to the Past is a bit rougher in my memory, so I had to look up a few things there. But here's the idea. These two games are connected through specific rooms. They're kind of spread out pretty far apart. You're not really meant to like hop back and forth willy-nilly. The goal is to, in Super Metroid, beat or at least get the souls or credit for the 4 bosses on the gold statue. And in Zelda, you're trying to get all the crystals to unlock Ganon. These can be mixed with each other. So, for example, I beat Kraid and got the credit for Dragon. And then I was in Link to the Past, beat Moldorm and got the credit for Phantoon. Stuff like that. But what I found was that Super Metroid, you get a lot of power and like explorability items pretty quick because missiles, super missiles, power bombs are all like, they're all packs you can find scattered without. There's like 30 of like each.
Yeah.
And so you'll run into them pretty quickly in either game. And so you've got a lot of room to explore there. Whereas Link to the Past, you don't even start with a sword.
That's true.
And you can find bombs, and those will get you to like caches of checks, whatever items got randomly set in there. But I found that Super Metroid has it's a long series of hallways. And so there's a lot of consistent finding stuff, brick wall, because I don't have the Varia suit yet, so I just have all of Brinstar essentially. And with power bombs, you can get kind of in places where you're not supposed to. But with enemies that you're supposed to have 2 suit upgrades, and so will kill you in like 2 hits. Another fun thing is that if you don't have super missiles yet, which I just randomly unluckily had when I beat Spore Spawn, because that boss room locks you into like a sequence where it's supposed to teach you, hey, use super missiles. I got soft locked.
No.
And Link to the Past allows you to save at any point, respawn at your house or at the sanctuary. Super Metroid does not, unless I just missed something that they added to it. And so that was a legit, I need to hard reset. I hope I had a save. Kind of annoying.
That sucks.
But yeah, other than that, Link to the Past was a much bigger game in terms of just the amount of stuff in it, but also like it only has the bespoke single upgrade, expanding your area of exploration. And like the world map is sprawling. You can go basically anywhere from the word jump, except for like a few places that require like hammer or something. But a lot of the minor upgrades are now major upgrades, and that's why you have to look things up.
Fair.
And then you don't want to do any dungeons until you know you can finish it, because otherwise it's a huge waste of time. Whereas Metroid is on a progression path. It's very smooth in its progression, but also when you're stuck, you're pretty hard stuck. But that's probably also a factor of, I'm not sure if I'm stuck in Zelda or I'm just forgetting stuff. But it was interesting. Like, Zelda was a lot of feast and famine of, well, I got nothing, bombed a wall, and now there's like 5 chests in a room. Score. But no, ultimately, in terms of whether or not I consider them the same genre, I still do. But But I think Link to the Past is more resembles a modern take on it, where you do have the sprawling, a lot of zones to explore at once, whereas I think Super does actually restrict you a bit more than it might seem, especially in those sort of locked in areas where you're supposed to have the thing like the super missiles and you don't. But yeah, it's a series of hallways. It's a series of tubes, like the internet.
Yeah, of course. That's relevant.
Yeah.
In 2025.
Yeah. In the context of a randomizer, Zelda becomes just more of an open world game than Metroids do, but only in the randomizer context. I think if you're playing it legitimately, the soft rails more closely resembles what I consider a Metroidvania. Definitely there are some distinctions that were a lot clearer when you're playing both games simultaneously.
That's fair.
Also, it's just so much longer. Still would recommend, but I'm not about to make us play a Zelda game anytime soon. I have my fill. Used to be my favorite series. Now, we'll see.
No.
But yeah, did you go back and 100% this game, or did you just kind of leave it at your first clear?
I just decided to leave it. I don't know. Like, I have done the 100%.
Yeah?
I even had my save state because I did it on the Switch.
Right.
In 2019. Right. So, I mean, it's been like 6 years, but still.
It still counts.
I don't know. I'm not that interested in the last part to get to it. Like, I got enough where I was like, I think I had all the reserve tanks. I had all the energy tanks. And all right, now I just need to find a lot of missiles that I left behind while I was going through the first time. It's like, eh.
And that's one thing that later games kind of made better on, were the Shine Spark puzzles don't really exist in this one. Just the existence of the Shine Spark is the puzzle, and occasionally it's a bit harder to charge it up, but there's none of the like chaining it or like doing some really fancy angling, really. It's just line it up and go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got all the tanks as well, so I didn't really feel like going back either. My ending was Samus has her visor up and gives me a thumbs up. No cheesecake for me. I was sorely disappointed.
Yeah, I'm too slow for cheesecake.
Yeah.
And not doing 100%.
There's not even an achievement. What are we doing?
But like, I don't know what I did with it. I was satisfied, right?
Yeah. 90%. And like knowing that they do these like fun little things of it's a room with a missile upgrade, but they stored a sneaky little second missile upgrade behind an abominable wall or behind the X-ray scope. When you know that and will check for it, it becomes less of a issue and more of a, oh, you little scamp.
Yeah.
Which was fine.
I do think I got the scope at a much more appropriate time this time around. I seem to recall the first time I was like, I feel like I'm missing something. Do I have to just like test every wall? And then it turned out that I hadn't gotten the X-ray scope around the same time as I got the grappling beam and just like was missing out.
Right. The X-ray scope is obviously just a optional upgrade. You don't need it to beat the game, but like shine sparking, wall jumping, a lot of things, it is necessary to get a bunch of upgrades, and so you'll still want it. Like, you can't just powerbomb every room. Sometimes there's a invisible divot in the wall that you have to morph ball through.
Yeah.
But yeah, the X-ray scope is just, the route to get to it is on the map. If you go to the map station, it just doesn't tell you what's there. It's just, hey, if you're exploring everything, you'll eventually wind up going and grabbing it, I believe.
Yeah, I did actually forget to get the grapple beam and was like, I feel like I'm missing something. I'm pretty sure I can shine spark into this ship, but I think I'm supposed to have something right now.
Yeah. I definitely forgot whether or not I got grapple beam before or after Meridia. And so after bombing the tube and going through and being like, well, I can't go anywhere here, and it didn't give me anything. Clearly, I need the grapple beam before heading to wrecked ship. Oh yeah, another just handy thing that's not necessary because infinite bomb jumps exist, but the spring ball, just being able to jump in morph ball mode, it saves a bunch of time over the course of the game, but is ultimately unnecessary. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I used it for the one reserve tank that you can technically do without it, but I'm not doing that.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I finally was able to do a mock ball as well. Do you know what this trick is?
That's the running and then balling during the jump to get through something, I think.
I believe you have to jump through a door transition and then, yeah, you turn into a morph ball, but then you have the speed as if you're running. You can get a couple of things early with it. I only got the one upgrade in Brinstar on the right, but It was a trick that I had never really understood when I was, I don't know, a teen, I guess, looking up how to get stuff in Super Metroid. And I never bothered later in life until now. Just, I was curious. Wanted to talk about something, then forgot about it until right now. So,
Fair.
I'm not sure why they call it mock ball. I think it's just like it mocks the speed of running. I don't know.
I always assumed it was supposed to be mock as in speed, but it's mock as in copy.
It's at least spelled online as MOCK.
So,
I have no idea. But I do have some idea of where I'm going to put the game as it is on the stack rank. We, of course, do this every episode. We have a running list of all the games we've played in our own personal orders of generally how we enjoyed it. The link, as always, is in the doobly-doo. But, Tom, I ask you every time, just to stall a little bit for myself, where are you putting it?
Wait, is this to stall for yourself? I thought this was just to have the running gag of me not knowing where to put it.
It can be two things.
I think I'm actually going to be pretty decisive about this.
Yeah.
Though it also feels like, I don't know, this is such a important game in the history of the genre. I'm going to put it in whatever. I mean, I like it quite a bit. I think it's better than Symphony of the Night.
Wow.
So that's minimum 8 for me.
How do you feel about Haiku the Robot?
I feel like I ranked Haiku a little too highly.
No, you got to listen to your heart.
I think, I don't know, I'm going to put it at 6 after Animal Well.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel good about my top 6 and my top 10 in general right now. This did push Environmental Station Alpha out to 11.
Well, we'll just have to wait for the sequel to bring that one back up.
Yeah.
But all right, yeah. So, new number 6. Above Nine Souls, too, which okay. That's certainly a choice.
I mean, they're very different games.
Sure. For me, I'm also looking pretty highly, although I'm starting around Metroid Dread at number 7, and I do think to be a game I play in the year of our Lord 2025, Metroid Dread is kind of just better for what I like. Super Metroid is surprising. It holds up. It's a very charming game, but got to give it up for Dread. I know Super Metroid's better than Iconoclast, and now I'm just looking at Pipistrello, and man, as fun as that game is, and as much style as that one has, I think I'm going to have a little cluster here of Metroids. Got to give it up. Best to ever do it. Until Dread. Super Metroid at number 8. But speaking of games whose shadows loom large over the genre, Tom, what game are we going to be playing next?
It's Silksong. Of course, it's Silksong. I mean, we recorded last month's episode 3 days before they announced that they were going to reveal Silksong's release date. And we were like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
We were on time for once, and now that's a problem.
I know, yeah, we have this one in the can as well now, a bit earlier. But given that Silksong is probably going to be scoped at something similar to the original Hollow Knight, I'm just assuming, we'll need the time to play through it.
Yeah. This is weird future past, but we assume that we will have finished it.
Yeah, but you're not hearing this until a month after Silksong's released, and you won't hear us talk about Silksong until 2 months after that, so...
Yeah, at which point it'll be old news, and everyone will be done with it, right?
Yeah, everyone's going to be talking about Demon School.
Oh yes, clearly the Metroidvania? No, that's a tactical RPG.
It's a tactical RPG Persona-like, as far as I'm aware. But it is a game I was looking forward to until Silksong pushed it out. So
I did hear about that, where they specifically were like, yep, we're just going to move our release date, not be at the same time as Silksong.
They had to push it out of Silksong, but then 2 weeks after that is Final Fantasy Tactics. And then in October, there's a bunch of sequels to like well-established franchises. So they're just like, well, if the publisher's going to allow it, November now. Regardless, we've just barely been able to contain Silksong mentioning. It would be beyond insulting for a discussion of Super Metroid to be like a Silksong-esque episode, which it kind of has devolved into now.
Look, we respectfully kept it after the stack rank.
Exactly. We held ourselves in, but you can let yourselves out and tell us what you think on our YouTube page. Email us at invertedcastlepodcast@gmail.com, on X at invertedcastleph. Never forget the P, and various other social media platforms. I've been Eric Fox.
I've been Thomas Fight. And remember, kids, you don't need to stop if you use space jump.